Hey guys, what's going on? Master Cloud here, and I am back with another cast of The Lord of the Rings, The Battle from Middle-earth 2, The Rise of the Witch King. Today's matchup is going to be a 3 versus 3. It is on the map Dagorland, and I am going to be continuing my casting spree here because you guys went ahead and did me a favor and left a bunch of comments on my friend's page. So I am going to go ahead and continue to cast some games for you guys here. This one I just got off of a replay site. It is a 3 versus 3. On Dagorland, like I already said, and it is going to be apparently pretty interesting, according to what some of the people were saying about the replay. So I'm very happy and excited to be bringing it to you. Let me go ahead and introduce the players. Spawning up in the 12 o'clock position center is going to be ProPwnster here, spawning as goblins. Now his ally, he's going to have one on the right and one on the left. His one on the right is going to be Rebel, and spawning as Mordor. We can see there, and on the left side it is going to be another Mordor spawning as is Hombre spawning as Mordor, I should say. A little bit of getting a little bit tongue-tied there, but looks like he's actually throwing down just a standard orc pit there. I thought he might be going for something interesting, but just going to be the orc pit off the start there. Now their opponent spawning in the lower left-hand side is going to be Andy spawning as Mordor here. We can see he already has 3 furnaces up, and then going for his Urk pick, a very economical opening, but he's going to have units out just a little bit later. His ally in the center is going to be... Oops, I went too far on the minimap. His ally in the center is going to be Siegfried. Siegfried is spawning as men down here in the really in the 6 o'clock position, and then to his far right is going to be Oh gosh. Is this supposed to be like Icebreaker or IceB34r? I don't know. I like Icebreaker. Let's pretend his name says Icebreaker because that sounds kind of cool. Actually, I just saw that on like a TV show or something. Anyways. Yeah, it was on a TV show. It was on Breaking Bad. That's what it was. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue here. He's spawning as Mordor as well, so we're going to have like 3 or 4 Mordors? It is going to be 3 Mordors, 1 Isengard, 1 men, and then of course ProPwnster as goblins. Now it looks like ProPwnster has already gone ahead and captured this outpost here, and now he's going to begin to work on some of these rebel goblins that have decided not to join him. Is going to go ahead and take over or destroy that goblin cave, take any loot that he might find in there. Mordor on the top right side, moving along the right side here, I should say, and going to be going for that signal fire. It's already been captured by some enemy Mordor orcs here, but they're going to run into the Easterlings straight up, and the second group of orcs there, and I guess they're just going to bypass them for now, basically going for the run-by strategy here. But I'm not sure how effective it is going to be, because he has additional units coming out here, and all of a sudden these units turn around and decide to engage now, but I think by this time it's a little too late, and they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Or a rock and about 5,000 pikemen, and they will go ahead and die there, as that's going to be a nice pickup for Rebel. Now in the center of the map, it looks like we have a little bit of skirmish. Men going to be trying to take down this outpost that ProPwnster has here. Now the Goblin player, he might actually lose this. He's not focusing on these, so he will go ahead and lose that outpost, but he's had it for a little while, and it's definitely been producing a decent amount of income for him. On the left-hand side, looks like just a couple of Isengard units moving up. Actually, he has a group up here. Might have been able to deal a little bit of damage. They are level 2 here. They're going to get chased back by the remainder of Mordor's forces here. And that looks like it's going to be a short-lived battle there, if a battle at all. In the center of the map, the skirmish is still going on between a couple of these troops from men. Looks like they moved up after destroying the outpost there. Weren't able to get the mine, though. Now, Rebel here doing a nice job sending units all over the place. He's got some in the sort of the left bottom side here, or the left right-hand side. I don't know what to call this, but he's got some over here, and then some on the right side as well. Looks like he's lost a couple of them now, but did manage to take out the outpost, or I'm sorry, the inn down here in the bottom right, limiting Mordor's access to those Haradrim archers. Icebreaker here, not doing a terrible job, does have a couple, or actually a lot of units moving up along the right-hand side now. The watchtower here is owned by Rebel, but that might not be for long. If he loses this battle, it's most definitely going to get taken back by our Mordor player Icebreaker. And it looks like with the archer support here in the back, yeah, Rebel's going to have to turn tail and run. And with that, he's going to lose the signal fire. Now, of course, the signal fire does allow... Ooh, free money right there. But anyways, the signal fire does allow those powers to start recharging a little bit faster for those players. So it's always a nice thing to have. Especially, really actually at all stages of the game because, well, I shouldn't say at all stages of the game. Definitely in the early game because you only have that one spell and it can basically make or break you occasionally. But then in the later stages of the game, if you have a lot of power points, it's going to be refreshing those very powerful spells very quickly. Now, actually, Horadrim Lancers coming out here for, who's actually are they here? They, I think, are going to be Icebreakers. Yes, they are, as he comes in from the south there with them. He's going to lose a couple of them, but not before getting some nice charge damage. Now, on the left-hand side, Isengard doing a wonderful job of pushing forward here. Well, I don't want to say too wonderful of a job. I guess there's a ton of orcs running around his base here trying to take out all of his furnaces here. He's got some of these Warg Riders out, though, and they will be able to easily chase down a lot of these orcs, although there's just so many of them that as soon as they begin to engage them, they're going to get overrun here. And with a couple of archers over here for support, these Warg Riders will actually be, I suppose, just fine here at taking those out. Did that second group of orcs get taken out? The answer is yes, as this building will not fall, and Mordor here will maintain both his army and a furnace or two. Looks like he has actually quite a few, 3 or 4 around the backside there. So not doing bad at all. Our Goblin player moving through the center now with a huge force. Men has basically been pushed back. Looks like he has a couple of horsemen out in the field. Not sure this was the right choice to go for against... actually, I shouldn't say that. Against Goblins, you do need the horsemen, of course, for the... to deal with the Goblins. But I'm not sure if he has enough here. It looks like he has 3 units. He's trying to heal them up by the well right now. But now they're moving in to his infrastructure, beginning to take down some of his farms. And things are not looking good for him. Does get a nice charge there, but decides not to continue through. You want to run your horses through your opponent's troops, not stand in and fight, as you want to go ahead and grab that trample damage. And now the eye comes out as well. Now the eye is actually an allies here from the right side, so that is actually going to give the Gondor troops some aid here. But the bats are out as well here for our, I believe that's from our Goblin player. And this battle is definitely going to go in favor of, with the reinforcements coming up now, definitely the Goblins will lose this battle for now. On the right-hand side, a couple of Rebels troops now moving down through the Horadrim Lancers should make fast work of the Orcs, and there are plenty of other units here to go ahead and deal with the Easterlings. The building may fall here, but I don't think this unit will survive. More troops coming down, just pouring down troops is Rebel. He's basically trying to spam here and take out as many buildings as he can, but the Horadrim are doing such an efficient job of cleaning up the Orcs. They're going to get... Oh, I'm sorry. These Horadrim are actually Rebels Horadrim, so this building is definitely gone here. And Rebel doing an excellent job here, really pushing far in on the right-hand side quite efficiently. Now, our Mordor player up in the top left, oh my goodness, Hombre has left the game. Hombre has been defeated. So, of course, Hombre was the player in the top upper left here, and Hombre goes ahead and leaves the game for whatever reason. Maybe he lagged out. Maybe he threw in the towel because he just hates Isengard so much. The answer is not clear, but what is clear is that it is now a 2 versus 3. Now, of course, all of these buildings do go to his allies, and they, in this case, went to ProPwnster, the Goblin player. So he still has the resources, he still has the infrastructure, but he now has to manage a ton more troops than what he did, than what he had to before. So this is now a 3 versus 2, and normally I would favor the team that has 3 players. But at this point, the army size for, I want to say the army size for the top team is actually pretty decent, and they're actually looking to be in a pretty solid position. More Goblins moving through the center. The men player here just has not been able to basically do anything. I'm afraid that Siegfried here, I mean, he's got a couple of of mines out here, but his production is just so low. I mean, what does he have? You know, 2 buildings here, and he's not even producing out of one of them. He might be making units out of the other one. It's not clear. But Azog here is now out for the Goblin player as well, and they are pushing right in here. Siegfried looking to be in a lot of trouble. He has his horsemen over here trying to deal with the Orc Horde that was basically sent forward by our Goblin player using his defeated allies' troops. And with that cleaned up, he's now going to turn his attention back to his own base as he realizes there is a ton of goblins here. But they've actually switched direction. Instead of going for men, they're going to go in for sneak attack on Mordor here on the backside. Mordor's troops all up to the north-hand side here, trying to deal with, I guess, actually some Isengard troops over here as well. Over on the right side of the map, that's kind of surprising. But this single archer looks like a hero over here. But let's go ahead and see what these goblins can actually get done here with all of Mordor's troops up to the top. The ally Siegfried now coming to the aid of Mordor. Mordor realizes that he's in trouble here. I should say Icebreaker. But, oh no, all these spiders are going to run right into the Easterling Cave. I don't even know if they're going to be able to kill this building off. And with all of the troops here, including Amber for Siegfried, these goblins are definitely going to be defeated here. Can they actually get the Horadrim Palace? It would be a nice pickup. Not critical, but yeah, with Azog around the backside, they will go ahead and grab that. Azog might grab a level off that, or a few. Actually goes up to level 4 there. But I don't think he's going to be able to make it out of there with all of these troops here, and Azog will definitely fall. Going to go ahead and take down a few while he's at it. But it will not be enough. Azog will fall. Amber does grab a level, and Mordor in the bottom right here. Icebreaker will survive and actually be just fine. I mean, he lost his Horadrim Palace. Nothing he can't rebuild. He still has the additional Orc Pits here, so he can continue to pump out troops if he so desires. By the top side, Icebreaker actually not doing a bad job. Has a couple of troops around the backside here, taking out potentially a furnace or 2. And that furnace actually just went up to level 3, so if he could pick that off, that would be a really nice pickup. Yes, it did. As, of course, level 3 furnaces do get that Arrow Archer upgrade as well as the additional resource income. So a great pickoff there for the Easterlings of Icebreaker. I mean, he's going to lose them all, but at least he got in, did some damage, was able to kind of put a hold on the pressure for now. Isengard pushing up the left-hand side without Hombre to command his troops along the left side. His base is actually looking pretty vulnerable here. Isengard pushing very far in, grabbing this watchtower, or excuse me, the signal fire, not the watchtower, the signal fire as well. So Isengard looking to be in a pretty strong position here. I'd like to see him possibly go for some different troops. He has a couple of troops queued up here. Would rather see him throw down an additional barracks and begin to pump out troops that way. I mean, he has a lot of money. He has a lot of money just saved up in things that aren't even building right now. But we actually have Drogoth out. Our Goblin player actually saving up, deciding that's why there hasn't been troops pumped out from these mortar buildings in a while. It's been being saved up for Drogoth. And the great thing about this is there's so few archers on the field right now for Isengard that all of these troops are basically Mumakil. Haven't seen them in forever. All these troops are basically completely vulnerable to Drogoth right now. So he'll be able to easily pick off all these, throwing down a couple of fortress upgrades to go ahead and try and protect the fortress. Saruman is over here, could use the fireball on Drogoth. Won't be incredibly effective, wouldn't be negligible, but I think Saruman here not going to be able to survive too much longer. Actually, he might decide to pull him back. Is going to throw down the fireball there. Yeah, barely hurt Drogoth. And Drogoth can do way more damage to Saruman than vice versa. So I believe here Drogoth is going to chase down Saruman, and that is going to end not well for Saruman. We might keep Saruman selected. Well, actually, I don't know if I keep him selected, will it disappear when he dies? We'll see for now. But looks like on the right-hand side, Rebel actually pushing forward. Mouth of Sauron now out for him as well. And Mouth of Sauron up to level 3, actually, pushing very far in on the right-hand side here. All of a sudden, the troops supply for Icebreaker here is looking to be a little thin. I mean, he got in, did some damage, but where are the remainder of his troops? There's just a ton of troops here for Rebel. I mean, he's has so many buildings. He hasn't lost his Horadrim Palace, has the Fire Archer, or I'm sorry, can research the Fire Arrows if he so chooses, but actually does have Horadrim Archers out as this is a unit you do not see very often. And they actually deal a significant amount of damage, able to take out one farm here. Malthasaran's going to take one out on the right-hand side as well. And all of a sudden, these troops are looking to be in a little bit of trouble as they don't... I guess they have a little bit of backup here. And now here comes in the ally Siegfried to help with this incoming attack. There might actually be enough mortar troops here to hold it off, but Siegfried is not going to take any risk. Malthasaran, realizing the troops are sweeping in from the left, calls for the retreat, but it's too little too late, as all of his troops are going to get run down here by Siegfried's horses. And all of that push basically going to naught here, as these horsemen will easily clean up all of these troops, as there is absolutely zero Easterlings combined in this army. Here comes 2 Easterlings built way too late and not in the battle, and seeing that, the horsemen will turn and run. Actually, Knights of Delamarth are in this bunch as well, and that is a really efficient way to run this army, I would think. So nice job by Siegfried here, coming back in the later or the mid-game even, and doing a nice job helping his allies with those horsemen. Now he actually has another unit of Coda back at the base here. Malthasaran, who does this belong to is the question. This is Rebels Malthasaran. And actually, is this his worm too? I believe so. It's hard to tell actually. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Actually, this is ProPwnster. This is the Goblin player, so he's going ahead and thrown down his worm summon here in the back of the base, and all of a sudden Men is looking to be in a little trouble. The problem that I said was before is he just didn't have a lot of infrastructure and actually loses his only really producing building there, which is, of course was the stables. And with the stables gone, he basically has no way to reproduce his army. I mean, he needs to throw down additional stables. Does have the archery range out now as well, though, but he's going to lose a couple more buildings here. And suddenly our Men player looking to be in a little bit of trouble. On the right-hand side, Icebreaker pushing in towards Rebel without Malthasaran to guide this army. Without Malthasaran to guide the army, he's actually gone with a Nazgul instead. Rebel has to go ahead and lead this army. And little does this group of Mordor units realize they are walking into a trap. It's a trap! As Morgamir will swoop in. Now there is one group of archers here, but actually 1 or 2. But I think he could handle it if he focuses the archers here, but decides to fall back instead. I'm not sure that's the right choice. Can't seem to make up his mind here. Along the left-hand side, Drogoth continues to rain terror on the horsemen here. Gets a great hit off there on some of those archers. Almost caught the tail end of Aemir here, who falls off his horse, hops back on though, and will return to his troops probably shortly. But Drogoth is now chasing down these horsemen, as they have no way to deal with him unless they switch to their bows, but it's not really very efficient, to be honest. And Drogoth gets a nice swoop in there, is going to take out a large portion, a second swoop, and another 4 or 5 horses go down. Now they are higher level, so they do begin to regen units, and he does have the pool still alive back at his home, the well. So he can regen those, but it's going to take time, and Drogoth definitely feels like he's done a good job and is going to be flying back home for a nice treat from his master, no doubt. On the right-hand side, Rebel trying to push back, hold off against the troops of Mordor here. But the archer drop goes down, and that is not going to bode well for all of those archers, as they almost all die instantly there. What a great arrow drop. I'm guessing that was by Siegfried, would be my guess. Let's go ahead and check here. Actually, it was not. So it's not clear. Actually, that was by Mordor? We're on the 2.02 patch, so apparently Mordor now has arrow drop in their power pool. So great play there by Icebreaker, and all of a sudden these this base is looking to be under pretty heavy siege. He's going to lose this building in the front for sure. He has his Nazgul yet. There's a decent amount of archers here that it's going to be a little rough if he decides to go in. A second Nazgul now out as well. Khamul and Morgamir both on the field, and with 2 Nazgul, this archer squad is going to fall very, very quickly. I really want to take a look back at the left side of the map, though, to see how our Isengard player is doing. It looks like for now he's running a couple of units around the back side, has some units out in the middle as well. Drogoth continuing to try and deal with them, but Drogoth by himself has just not been able to do enough damage. Actually, we have, the Nazgul Riders here out for ProPwnster. He actually built those out of Hombre's old, what's this place called? The Siege Workshops. Great Siege Works, excuse me. And now actually has the Black Riders out on the field, is going to go ahead and begin to deal with a lot of these troops. Wow, one run through and those guys all die instantly. And it's going to continue to, looks like he's found a ton of stuff along the left-hand side of the field here. Now, Isengard is actually doing an excellent job. Look how many buildings he has. Isengard, our Isengard player, just going to town right now with the amount of, with his infrastructure here inside his base. And Siegfried moving up through the center as the left side is sort of where ProPwnster is currently focused his attention. Siegfried now able to take out a couple more mines. Could possibly even go for that base. Would like to see him do that if possible. On the right-hand side of the map, Rebel going to go ahead and reclaim this watchtower. Although that might be temporary as this huge army is moving up from the south now. And I don't think he's going to hold on to this for long. He just does not have the forces here necessary. Where were those Nazgul? Where did those Nazgul end up? I don't think they died. But I don't see them on the field right now. Oh, here they are along the left-hand side. Actually focusing on all of these horsemen. And the horsemen just cannot deal with the threat from the skies. And now more Nazgul on the ground, actually throwing those into defensive mode. Drogoth coming in as well, and basically the skies are completely owned by Rebel and ProPwnster here. Drogoth just raining fire and death, and all of a sudden Siegfried here loses almost his entire horseman army here. And that is a terrible loss for him. The Black Riders actually go up to level 3. That's a great pickup for them, as they will begin to regen themselves now, I believe. And these horsemen are turning tail and running. On the left-hand side, though, Isengard actually doing quite well, continuing to push forward, destroying the last few remaining buildings of Hombre here. As actually Malthasaran here belongs to Rebel. It seems like he's forgotten his Malthasaran up along the left-hand side here, as he's basically just sitting there doing nothing. Needs to pull him back into the battle, but he's so focused on controlling his Nazgul right now, he just hasn't remembered about him. Now we actually have the Witch King out for Mordor as well. This is going to be almost a purely sky battle here for Rebel. I cannot believe how much he has taken to the skies here. And basically going to be using those Nazgul to clean up anything on the ground. Focusing those archers first, of course, and definitely the Rodrim archers here, which do have the barbed arrow shot, which can, of course, deal additional damage to those Nazgul. But look, that guy falls face first to the dirt. And these Nazgul, I mean, he needs way more archers to deal with 3 Nazgul at a time. Does he have the production? He has the buildings. He just isn't building the archers right now to deal with this. Actually focusing on a couple of fortress upgrades, it looks like. Meanwhile, Siegfried trying to get that stables back up to rebuild that army. Does have actually a couple of units of Rohirrim that did survive and were able to regen now. And all of a sudden we have a Balrog on the field here from ProPwnster. And the Balrog is actually marching in here to attack, I guess, the buildings of Isengard. Isengard has so much production. If he can get a really good Fire Blast off, though, or a Fire Breath off, excuse me, he should be able to take out a decent amount of this. The problem is not necessarily taking out the money right now, because Isengard is going to have so much money. And that Fire Breath deals so much damage. 3 buildings instantaneously fall. The Balrog will now move on to take out a couple more buildings. Grabs that with 1 hit from his whip. And actually might focus down a couple of these, maybe the furnace as well, and the armory as well. Does take that out. Really nice play here by the Balrog, as it is just rampaging through the territory here of Andy. And with the second swing of his sword, that goes down. The Balrog has almost timed out, but he's taken out so much infrastructure here that Isengard is going to be crippled for a little while, definitely. Not sure if I would have used that right now. He just doesn't have the time. Actually gets the whip off, though, so he does take out that as well. And this Balrog is just doing work here in the back. Just so much damage. And I think with that, that's going to be the end. Although, at the same time, he throws down... excuse me. At that, he throws down the worm now, and the worm is going to begin to deal a ton of damage to the remaining barracks here, and also all of a sudden Isengard does not have the buildings necessary to go ahead and continue production. Does he have builders out on the field? If so, I don't know where they are, but this worm is going to surely destroy that as well. Now Isengard does have a ton of troops up here to the left, but he doesn't have any archers with the group. And Drogoth is just destroying all of them. The Mumakil is out now as well. And beginning to move forward. On the right-hand side, Rebel is continuing to hold up well, I should say. He's not really pressing forward right now, but he is holding his ground quite well. Actually does have the signal fire as well here. Excuse me for a second, guys. I gotta grab a drink. I'll be right back, guys. Wait right here. Watch this very epic battle here as I quick run and grab a drink. And I'm back. Oh my. So, Drogoth here continuing to do work in the center. Actually, he's going to get focused down by a ton of archers here, but begins to use that wing beat ability. What's it called exactly? Wing blast. And all of a sudden, these troops are all starting to take a ton of damage from that. Can he actually kill them all off and survive? I thought he was dead there. All those archers were poised to shoot at once, but actually manages to survive there. Really nice play there by ProPwnster. And our Goblin player has just been doing excellent this game. Still has the Fortress for Mortar alive up in the upper left. Isengard slowly rebuilding all of his buildings, but it's taking so long. He has like one builder trying to rebuild, 10 plus buildings that were destroyed by that Balrog. Produces another builder. Now you can see Isengard scrambling to get his production back on schedule. He's basically lost almost all of his troops to the upper left. I mean, he has this inn over here, but that's basically his only means of production, at least close to the battlefield. And on the right-hand side, Rebel is now pushing forward. Where is Siegfried's troops? It looks like Gandalf is out and a couple of archers here, but they don't even have the fire upgrade at this point. It's pretty late in the game not to have that fire upgrade, and our men player here, Siegfried, is looking not the best. Actually, oh my gosh, Siegfried lost his fortress at one point. Apparently I missed that. So apparently Siegfried lost his fortress, has now rebuilt it. I'm guessing what happened is he was probably attacked by all three of those Nazgul, which I don't see on the field right. Actually, I see the shadow of one on the field. The Nazgul is actually up so high I cannot see it on the screen. Oh, there it is. Wow, that shadow goes really far. Anyways, yeah, that's what happened. See how damaged he is, and he's the only one returning. So the Witch King actually survived, but the remaining two Nazgul most likely fell with that attack on the fortress, but managed to take it out. And that was now had to go ahead and get rebuilt here by Siegfried, who's, I guess, been scrambling now to try and get his army back up to help his allies. At this point, though, Rebel actually is moving in through the backside, dealing a lot of damage. He's going to lose this army, but definitely drawing the eye of Icebreaker. Now, do we have those Nazgul coming back out for Mortar? I would imagine so. Actually has a couple of catapults, as well as the Black Riders now coming out as well. Our Goblin player, losing a couple of units along the left-hand side here, did manage to take the signal fire temporarily. Might actually take out this building of Isengard as well. These horsemen trying to do their best to deal with the Goblins, but there's just so many of them all over the place. And now it looks like Icebreaker is actually going to be pushing in here. I'm not sure that's the right choice, though, as these catapults are in prime position here to start dealing a ton of damage to these archers. Malthasaran throws down his Doubt ability, which of course does very much decrease their defense and attack, I believe. I believe it is defense and attack. Armor and damage, yes it is. Malthasaran on the right-hand side belongs to Icebreaker. Gandalf and Malthasaran teaming up, that's not something you see often. Looks like they will push up here temporarily, but now the Black Riders are out, and they're going to go straight for the archers, I would imagine. No, they're going straight for Gandalf, and this is going to not end well for Gandalf, as there's no way he can deal with this many Black Riders at a time, and Malthasaran. Gandalf falls, and now these archers are completely vulnerable to these horsemen. The Black Riders take basically no damage from archer fire. They're one of the few units that can withstand a ton of archer fire. They just have so much HP is the thing. On the left-hand side, looks like our men player Siegfried continuing to rebuild his base. Does have Boromir out now as well. How is Isengard doing? Not well, actually. Looks like he's tried to rebuild a couple of his buildings, hanging in there for now. The Momokill still alive, level 5, just rampaging through the territory here. And this match continues to go on. Drogoth still alive, up to level 10. Very impressive. I don't know if he's died once yet this game. If so, I've completely missed it. But it looks like he will head home for now, take a rest there. And this is actually the Witch King, level 5, flying around, just securing his domain, I suppose. Don't see the other Nazgul back out on the field. Looks like for now he's decided to hold off on the Nazgul and go back towards a more ground-based army with, of course, the Black Riders. And, oops, I spoke too soon. The other Nazgul have now been rebuilt and are back out on the field as well. So we have 3 Nazgul in the air, 5 on the ground. I'm sorry, 6 on the ground. And Mouth of Sauron out as well. This is an incredibly scary army for Rebel here. And what does he have to deal with? A couple of pikemen, some orcs, and some archers. I mean, this is not the army you want to be able to have to try and deal with 3 flying fell beasts, 6 Nazgul, and Mouth of Sauron. I mean, this army is going to be sliced through like butter. And the Black Riders here actually catching some of the pikemen, but they're basically like the Honey Badger. They just don't care at this point as they are charging in. Now all 3 Nazgul swooping in as well. And this army is not going to survive long. It needs to focus the archers to survive, or to keep the Nazgul alive in the air, which can begin to do the most damage. Now, actually, there's a Balrog coming out as well, right on the middle of the battlefield here. And holy balls, that is going to shake the ground for sure. Icebreaker going ahead and throwing down his Balrog. Let's see if his Balrog can do as much damage. Whips the Nazgul in the air and kills it instantly, as this Balrog is just not messing around right now. Let's see if he can actually do as much damage as ProPwnster did earlier. Is going to leap into that base here and begin to work on some of these buildings. Takes out a single orc pit so far. Would love to see him use that fire breath, and I believe here it goes. Yes, it is, and he's going to actually hit that fortress pretty good. Let's see how much of those buildings he actually takes out. With the upgrade here, it looks like this fortress actually did not take that much damage. Almost lost the building here. Needs to take that out if he gets a chance here. And Balrog is actually taking a lot of damage. Does finally turn his attention. Will be able to get the Haradrim Palace, but not much more. I mean, if you could get the Siege Workshops, that would be a really great pickoff. But he's actually taking a ton of damage here. Gets the whip off, but it's not going to be enough. There's so many archers. And this catapult's like doing the disco over here or something. And the Balrog falls before he can finish off the Siege Works. So the Siege Works survives. Look at this catapult. They're just like they're just like rocking out over here, man. Anyways, on the left-hand side of the map, oh my gosh. So while we were watching the Balrog, it looks like ProPwnster here dropped a dragon as well as the worm and took out the remaining fortress of Isengard. And with that, our player Andy here looking to be in a lot of trouble. Is this actually his last building? Sorry guys, just with the 3v3, there's just so much to watch. It's hard to catch everything all the time, and loses that. No, of course, that's not his last building. He does have these 2. But just amazing here how many spells ProPwnster has gotten off. I think it's because he has a couple of signal fires. He has that one. Does he have... Is there an additional one back here that he has? Not that I know of. It just seems like he's had his spells spamming this entire game, and actually has the Balrog available to him right now as well. There's actually a Rain of Fire here as well for Mordor. Siegfried just has not done the damage this time around, and only has, you know, a couple of spells here, not even close to that 25 mark. The rock drop almost back up for our Mordor player Icebreaker, but of course he just went ahead and used his Balrog, so that won't be up for quite a while. And Mordor is now pushing forward. He's going to have to use that rock drop in a defensive fashion, I think, to hold off this attack. there's just not enough here. I mean, now he's gone for his own Nazgul, but his Nazgul is level 1 compared to the level 5 and 6 of his opponents. The Igo is down here to go ahead and grant a couple of, or some bonus damage there, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Siegfried here looking to be in a lot of trouble. Aragorn falls to the Black Riders. Boromir might as well. No, actually, these Black Riders are actually up to level 10. The unit control here from ProPwnster is just really impressive, I must say, as you don't hardly ever see Black Riders get up to level 10, and they just deal so much damage. Boromir dies almost instantly there. Darkness is now cast by one of the units, and ProPwnster is now going to throw down his second Balrog here and go for the base of Siegfried. This is a really an impressive display of strength and power here. As one fire breath takes out 4 buildings, the rain of fire comes down from Rebel, and as soon as that happens, Icebreaker sees it and goes ahead and destroys all of his buildings and surrenders. And here come in 3 movement guilds to go ahead and finish off the remaining base of Siegfried. A really impressive game from both ProPwnster and Rebel, and so congratulations to them for winning that very tough, what basically turned out to be a 2v3. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and stay tuned. We're gonna have some more games, I'm going to have some more games coming out this weekend, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.